So in this video, we will continue with talking about test design techniques, and we need to talk about the following test design techniques, which were not mentioned in the previous videos.
Yeah, we're going to discuss some test design techniques that maybe are not so often used on the project, but still you should be familiar with them to understand some points, and maybe you will be asked about them on your interviews.
Yeah.
So let's study
First,
them.
agree with you. And the first one cannot be included in some groups, so we add it in this separate video. And the first one is use case testing.
Yeah, the main idea of use case testing is that you should analyze the requirements from the position of practically final user. So this is not classical test case. You can see at the slide. Yeah, still you are reading the use case and look at it from the position of actor. You will perform some action and the system. How will your application react? So you will have like step, you doing something, the system reacts, you doing something, the system reacts, yeah, like steps and expected results mixed up, yeah, and some extensions like negative test cases. That's great for understanding how the system works. This is like one more variant of analyzing the requirements and creating pretty high level test documentation from my point of view.
In the future, it can be written as test cases mostly, yeah, but I agree with you that it's more like about understanding and clarifying the requirements. And now maybe it's not very used, but previously our business analyst usually paint some use case diagrams to present some features. So it was like also way to understand how the feature works, to look at the diagram.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move to the next test design techniques, and this checklist-based testing.
Yeah. Checklist-based testing is like related to experience-based test design techniques because it heavily relies on the experience, on the skills of the tester, but like keep in mind that it's not an exploratory testing. Yeah, you have some kind of test documentation. It is checklist. Maybe it's high level checklist because again this is experience based testing, but still it is a plan, a quite formal plan to follow, and you have some checks. Yeah, you will perform them and so on. But here you still have kind of freedom, yeah, you still have a lot of ways to change something, yeah, to try something new and so on. So this is not very strict documentation and maybe not so full, and it
Yeah.
can be a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So, checklist-based testing we can use when we want to reduce time on writing testing documentation, but at the same time, we should think about our plans, and if we really know that in our project in the future newcomers will come, it's not good to write just a checklist because you will spend a lot of time to explain them how to work with, how to test with our application.
Yeah, it may be a problem to reproduce the bugs using checks from checklist. Maybe it's quite challenging to create reports and some measurement based on the result of your work by this high level checklist. But still, if your team is experienced, maybe the project is short term, or maybe it's much more important for now to test than to have like very comprehensive testing documentation. So it also can be a choice.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but we should move on and let's talk about the next class. It's a white box test design techniques.
Yeah, I suppose you remember white box and what does it mean? Because white box is all about code. So when we're talking about white box testing or white box test design techniques, we are mostly talking about approaches and strategies that can be applied by people who actually know programming language. So they are developers or maybe automation testers. Still, there are only two test design techniques, statement testing and coverage and decision testing and coverage. So you should know the terms maybe, yeah, to use them into your practice, to understand maybe your team members and so on. And statement testing and coverage is used to be sure that you've tested all the statements, all the lines in the code. And decision testing, it's about being sure that all possible branches of your code are tested. Still, you can see like 100%, and this is possible if we are talking about the code.
Yeah, but once again, this usually used by developers or automation engineers. So we just need you know this test design techniques, but we are not sure that you will use it. But during this set of videos, you become familiar with a lot of test design techniques, and we wish you to select most appropriate one or several ones and use it on your projects.
Yeah, so be with us, join us on our channel. See you. Bye.
Bye.